let's see. It's this time of the day, and I appreciate you guys joining us, whoever is with us. And I apologize for missing 2 weeks. We had quite a few travel-related things going on, and well, we're back. I'm gonna take you to the booth right now with Dan on it, and the reason we decided to do this kind of video today is because, you know, we see a lot of people who is really worried, kind of afraid of mixing colors. Oh, why so much noise coming from there? Sorry. You know, it's just paint. There's nothing to be afraid of, but especially like in the gaming industry, like, you know, we paint figures, they're really looking for specific color, and sometimes you're like, well, this is drop of white from this green, you know, they're looking for specific org, you know, damaged or green, whatever. And, you know, the mixing colors is easy if you understand the color theory, and there's a bunch of videos about it. But today we're going to do something different. We're not going to just manage, you know, the mixed random colors. We're going to add some special effects to it, right? So it's really difficult, and you need to have the right color mixing when you're OEM finishing the car. You know, have the special cosmic white on your color, and you need to just paint the coloring part of it. Yeah, you better go to the shop who can professionally mix the right color, and it's still going to be difficult to match exactly because of how many years it was, you know, under sun and fading and all the things. But for the custom painting, or when you're creating something unique, something new, like even like a model, being a little bit unique in a way, you know, a little bit off, I would say, but still, you know, in the right spectrum of color, it just makes it more life, I guess. It makes it cooler. So that's what we're gonna try to explore today. A couple updates from what we missed in a couple of past weeks. We have Alejo here. It arrived and already selling crazy. I mean, this is one of those brands which people are asking us to get for a long time, and we got it. Not of it, all of it. Just got a portion of it, and yeah, I think we're already out of some colors and some sets. But we'll be working on restocking. It's going to take a while. It's going to be a process, so please bear with us. We'll need to learn what the demand is and try to get the colors in, because we're working directly with Spain. It takes a while to get the pallets here, but especially with the new customs kind of issues we're facing. But it will eventually come to the moment where we have everything always in stock as we want it, and that we should. Another update: we're gold winners. Thank you everybody who participated in voting for us. We should actually have the prize coming in the mail, I guess. They just gave us certificates yesterday. I didn't even go there. I just came back from my trip to Zurich. But yeah, we got a gold winner into what is it, best arts and crafts. So we are best in arts and crafts in Tampa Bay. Yay! Anyways, let me take you all guys with me to the booth, where I think Dan is ready. Oh my, sorry for this microphone. I'm trying to put it here. I think Dan is ready for us. So let's see what's going on. This door open. What are we going here? There's a lot of stuff going on as always. You know, movements everywhere, but still need to put microphone on Dan, and let me know how the sound going actually. Is anything wrong? Hey Gerald, I see Gerald Mendes watching us. Dan, Gerald Mendes is watching, so be careful. You need to make sure you have to, you know, dress to impress and do things to impress. Here's the microphone.
Putting the pressure on, huh?
Yeah, pressure's on. Dan is right here with us.
Hello, everybody.
So what do we got? We got quite a few things prepared here, huh?
Okay. You push the red button? Sorry, I'm always late when it comes to that. Yeah, so stay with us, folks. Stay tuned. We're, you know, a lot to cover today, similar to the Chrome video. A lot of experimentation. Stick all the way to the end, because there's some cool stuff to see, I imagine. And I hope to see some of your cool stuff later as well. So if you tuned in to one of our last lives, it was all about Createx and all the different kits and sets that they offer, and all the versatility and different kinds of paints for whatever you might be wanting to do that day. So today we're just going to dive a little deeper into different color combinations, different mixes, and show you how versatile and how adaptable it is all within the line. You can intermix all kinds of colors in almost any which way imaginable that you can think of. So I did some testing yesterday and just tried to come up with different random options and colors and formulas to just kind of give you an idea of, you know, different things you can do with the stuff. And I'll just want to go over most of that in this little quick video and just kind of go from there, and hopefully that will help you or get you inspired to, you know, come up with your own unique color combinations. And please do share afterwards. You know, we like to see that type of stuff. We get lots of stuff in our emails, social media, things like that. We're always seeing cool things, and we appreciate you guys sending stuff in to us. So I'll just kind of go from a little bit basic stuff into a little bit more, not harder mix, but just a little bit more involved, and just kind of touch base on the different sets and lines again within Createx. So I'll just start from the basics here on the left. And I think the first thing I would like to mention, custom colors, is get yourself some type of color wheel. Or I like this one because it spins. You know, it tells you what happens if you add yellow, if you add blue to a certain color, white, black, you know, things like that. So that might help you mix some colors if you're not too familiar with if red goes with what red and green happen when they mix together, you know, things like that. So a good color wheel is very helpful when it comes to learning and mixing different colors. Also, a very valuable tool would be some type of paint scale. You want to have a paint scale and pretty much a notepad and pen and paper. Sometimes you come up with a color or you make all these different mixes and you lose track real quick. What did I exactly do? And you never can just get it back right again. Well, if you have something like a paint scale with a battery, oh man, haven't used, as you can see, I haven't used this thing.
I think we had
But,
those ones,
you know, if you have a paint scale that has ounces in it, or you know, grams, whatever it might be, it's a good way to keep track of what you did. That way you can always go back to it or make adjustments accordingly, and not just try to remember in your head 2 to 1 to 20%, things like that. You have an exact ratio number by using the scale and having your paint set on there and adding those drops at a time. So a paint scale is definitely a valuable tool when it comes to mixing custom colors all the time. When you are mixing Createx colors, you can start with their sealer, the Artiborn sealer as well. And they have multiple colors within the line, but you don't have to just stick to that specific color. You can intermix Artiborn sealers as well to come up with your own background that's complementary to what you're getting ready to paint. So go ahead and mix your first little primer sealer layer to the exact kind of color or coat you're after. That will save you a lot more paint and a lot more time, and it will just complement what you're going to put on top of it. So I'll just start over here with the basic colors. This is just the primary color set. If you're just starting out, or you always need to have a color on hand, get you a primary set. You have your main colors plus the black and the white, so you can make pretty much any color of the rainbow. And it's pretty standard when it comes to that. I just mixed a little bit of blue to my mixing cup. I'll add maybe 1 part red. For this one, just a splash of reducer. I want good coverage. So if I mix my blue and my red, depending on the ratio, now I have a whole new color. Artem also just brought me a paint scale, and this one has a battery in it. So that's good. I'll do one of the other mixes and kind of go from there. And you just log that down, whatever your mix might be. So see, I just made a color that's not within those 5 colors of the primary set. So mix and match, play around with that. And then you end up with your standard, you know, stock color, something like this brown here. I'm not gonna paint that just because it's just the standard red color. Well, no, I mixed it. I must. There's just so much stuff here, and I'm gonna try to go quick, so. Most of these are primed with some type of primer or auto-borne sealer. Gray is a good neutral color. It won't really change your color left or right kind of a way. So a light gray is always a good neutral color, so you can kind of see if you do want something darker or something lighter. I'm backing up quite a bit. I'm about 30 psi, I would say, right now. Normally I would do this in multiple layers, but I'm trying to kind of just go through it, you know. So there's a whole new color I have there. Now you can't see it at the moment, but the little color next to it that looks very similar, I'll show you when I put a light on it here. So it almost looks like that's the same color, right, that I just used. But this one here, you can also take candy colors and put it on top of your standard color. So if you had just like a standard blue or your standard red, something you just mixed, what I did now is I took that same color and I put candy over top of it just to make it pop a little bit more. Same thing with the blue. This is actually the exact same blue. It just has candy over top of it.
Which one is candy?
This is the candy one.
Okay.
This is just the standard blue. These are both over white. And it just makes it pop more. I don't know how good that shows up on camera. And with the light, I'm trying to flash on it. But same thing here. It's the same color, but the candy just makes it pop a lot more. So you can take your existing color and just make it look a little more hot.
I mean, I understand. So this is definitely making hot and making pop more. This makes it like completely different blue, right? It's much darker.
Yeah. And because it's candy, it also depends on how many layers. You know, sometimes
So it could be lighter.
one layer will make different things, which I'll show you, versus 2 or 3 layers, depending how deep you want to go with it. And it also depends on the mixing ratio. How much candy did you put in your 40-50? You know, how strong, how hot it's going to be will drastically determine that end result color. So while we're on the topic of candies, besides just using the candy straight out of the bottle, you can also mix and match candies. You can make one color a new color of your own by mixing candies together. You're not limited.
Making a mess, huh?
That's why I have this white everywhere, huh? I have my
You have a white, so
I
it
have my-
highlights all your...
plate here. But yeah, we'll see how many splashes we can get all over the place. So I just mixed that candy, maybe about 1-to-1. And I'll do the same thing with the 40-50. 1-to-1 with that there. Give that a little stir. And that's how I end up with a whole new color.
Well, while you're stirring it, I'm just gonna address the commenter there. Somebody really happy that we're doing this video, buying 32 ounces of Createx to mix their own colors. What are you doing with this green? Why you like
It's green.
so
It really
much?
likes, it's excited. It really likes to come out. Green's the only one that does that. There's not a red spot on this table.
But yeah, so if you
What
have
were you saying?
any particular questions how to mix up, yeah, he's just excited. You know, he's buying 32 ounce bottles and it's really cheap per ounce, which I agree. You know, it's one of the best ways to get into paint and bottle of paint. If you want to see any particular colors or have any questions, any experiments, just let us know, right? We'll do something. We're here to have fun. And
Yeah, let us know. If I have it here, I could probably mix something.
yeah, just don't ask us to spill more green, please.
Yeah. So that was just the red and green. This is over top of silver. I would say your more traditional background for a candy color. And now I have some type of, I don't know, almost a copper, I would say, you know? So some kind of almost an anodized kind of a look to it when you don't go so heavy. So this is just a new color I just totally randomly made up.
So I'm really curious. Let's do it. We'll give it a few minutes to dry, and I want to put another layer on it. I want to see
Okay.
how it looks more intense. I see you have other airbrush there, so let's switch for now.
Sounds good. And like I said, if you use the painting scale, you would know exactly how you came up with that color. So this is a great way to use that while you're making all your new
So
stuff.
if you want to give a little more details on that, so basically you do what? You have a bunch of those mixing cups, which you can get from Spray Gunner. You know, they're really great. They're 30 mil smaller. We also have a bigger coming soon. They're on the way, they're already in the ocean. So you're going to wait your first color, right? Whatever you have the maximum amount of.
So
And then
let's
you wait
mix the next.
separately, or you wait in the same.
So what I'll do is I'll turn it on first so it goes to 0. Then you're going to want to put your cup on because that has weight to it, right?
Then don't you want to zero it with the cup, maybe?
So now you want to 0 it again.
Yeah.
And I'm not familiar with this one, so I don't know
You
what
just forward it again, and it's just gonna go to 0.
T, P, and M
Yeah.
means, you know. So now I'll take another color, tequila yellow. Okay, so I know I have 21 grams.
2.2, I would say, yeah.
0.2, I can't, it's
Right.
backwards for me, so it looks like Roman numerals this side.
Yeah, I think to make it easier, I would actually round it up. So
You
make
wanna
sure
make
it's
it
easier
more
to
even?
calculate. Yeah, just by
Sure.
adding a couple drops, you see 2 points. Well, now we're over. But
Yeah,
should
yeah,
add
it's
just
gonna
one.
be hard.
Yeah.
I'd like to change it to ounces, to be honest.
Um,
Sometimes that's a little easier.
Oh, I just zeroed it out.
Ooh,
Cool.
grams
Ooh.
works too.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. Okay, grams. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
But now
So
we
we
don't know
zeroed
because-
that out. We knew it was 30, right?
No, we can't. We can zero it out again. Now we can put the whole thing.
Yeah. So that was tequila yellow. Now I have some blood red. I'm just gonna I'm gonna do about half of what I did with the tequila yellow. Not go too much. So I have that number there, and you just keep track of that. Remember what you did. Now, the next step that you can also do is, you know, candy is transparent on its own. So it drastically determines the underneath color, what your final result's gonna be. So what we're gonna do today is add some metallic to it, specifically the W351. It's just a silver metallic. It's a pretty fine flake, I would say. So it's gonna be kind of neutral, not too heavy, not too much. And I'm gonna add that to the candy itself. And this is gonna turn it into almost pretty much a base coat. It's not gonna be as transparent as it was before. And it's gonna tint that candy. So now that I have my mix and I have that logged down, I will combine that 1-to-1 with some 40/50. because if there's candy in there, you're going to want some type of carrier
So I want to go to 17 now, right?
to mix that with.
Yep, we're looking at 17 to get it 1-to-1 by weight. And basically, if you want to scale, you just do the 10 times, the same number. If you like, your little probe there, you can do 10 or 100 times now for your actual mix.
So this would be yeah. So now I have essentially a candy base coat. This covers very well. You can tint your candies and then still put your candy over top of it. This would be a good way to ground coat your candy instead of trying to cover just solid silver on its own. Let me go ahead and go back and put the next coat on this orange, if you remember earlier. And I'll go slightly heavier so you can see multiple coats will determine what it looks like when you're dealing with candy.
It's a pretty sweet color.
So now we have spray gunner orange here, so, and that's just the second coat. So let me get this out of here. Trying to go heavy, and normally everything I do here today, have fun with it, make your own creation, but take your time. Don't go as fast as I'm going. Make sure everything's flashing off. You want to make one coat after another. Don't rush it.
Yeah, it's me, guys, rushing them because I want to make it 45 to 1 hour kind of, format.
Yeah, and people don't want to listen forever either. I completely understand. So now I just mix the candy base coat. I'll just spray it over a gray here so it's not over a metallic backdrop. That way you can see that the flake is in the candy and it's not me spraying candy over an existing metallic already. Like normally I would have already stopped, but I'm just trying to get some coverage and get it going and keep on moving. So I'm going to force some air across the panel, not directly on it. Try to help that dry some. Come in with another coat. So now I have more of a candy base coat, and because I went so heavy on the candy, the coverage went fairly quick. You can literally take candy, and I'll show you now with one more with the same color.
This light will give you a better idea how it actually looks. That sparkle quite a bit. I mean, this is now the wrong. Let's see if this is better.
See how different what the light is?
I don't know how much you can tell about the sparkle there, but it does have really nice sparkle inside.
So let me show you how fast you can change the color. I'm going to mix some 40-50 again, just a little bit. And I wish I had a pipette with me, but I don't, so I'm literally putting like 5 or 6 drops in here. And look how strong it is already. Like that's enough to totally change your color. So you can tint it with not using much candy at all. And the reason I mention that is because if you look at like this spoon here, it also has more of an anodized look. This is like 3 or 4 drops of, I believe, of magenta or blood red. And then you end up with colors like this, you know, very, very subtle, like this blue. This is hardly any candy at all. It's mainly metallic silver. Same thing with these two here. Let's see to find the charger for that. I have this little guy too. This is, yeah, so these three colors, very subtle. Like this is just tinted metallic. So tint your metallics complementary to what you're painting, and you can probably move a lot faster and get the job done a lot quicker. Now, while I'm on the line of adding metallics to candies, another honorable mention here is the Chroma Air metallic. Now this is straight out of the bottle. No mixing, no reducing. I have a gray spoon here. I like to go heavy, even from the first coat. It gives it a great luster. People, it has such a shine that people always get it confused with, you know, chrome effect or it trying to be a chrome. It's not. That's our Chroma Air aluminum. And the name kind of makes you think that too. I understand because it's the Chroma Air line. But this is our aluminum. It's just a very heavy luster, so it has a great shine to it. This is also a great background for a candy, I would say. If you're familiar with Createx already and like the Quicksilver, the 357, I believe, that's kind of an effect you can almost start with right away by just using some aluminum. But we're going to get into that Quicksilver too, because I do want to play and test out a little bit. So just to show you what that looks like, I'm just going to spray some candy over top the aluminum so you see that shiny background and what it really does when it comes to the candies compared to like this spoon here, which is the same process that we just did. I'm going super light. Look at that. It's kind of an earth tone, almost a penny, copper kind of look if I keep going. And this is literally the same color that I mixed in this cup here on the first coat. So while we're here.
Difference is, again, if somebody forgot, this is just our gray, regular gray primer.
That is great.
This is your shiny Chroma Air 200 aluminum. And you can actually mix this with candy as well, so do the same thing as used as a base candy.
Yep. I'm just going to apply some to this orange. And that's why I mentioned it right here with this one, because of the fact that, you know, you can use all kind of different metallics. There's fine, there's coarse ground, or you can do the aluminum. So I just poured a little bit of Chroma Air into my cup. I'm back flushing it a little bit and hope that mixes. And then I'll spray the aluminum piece I just did, just for contrast. And it dries pretty quick too. You can clear right over this if you want to. But this time I mixed the Chroma Air in to the candy, and it has a great silver luster. I've tried multiple colors like this, and if you don't go real heavy with that candy, just a few drops to tint that Chroma Air, you can still get all that shine in the background, but still make a color you want. So lots of options there to choose from, you know. And I'll just go heavier just because if it's mainly Chroma Air in it, you're gonna have that shine always there. But you know, you do want to get a certain hue and color tint to it at some point, depending what you're doing. So look how different that is. Those are two literally the same kind of color, or three almost, you know.
Yeah, okay, so just a reminder, using the same exact candy mixed with metallic, what was it, the 351?
Yes.
Make it 351 here. So those two, and then the difference is this is our gray base, this is our Chroma Air aluminum base. and this we adding more aluminum. So this is like really anodized kind of color look, and I think we could get a little more intense if we're gonna do another layer. But you can get an idea where it goes to. It's still kind of almost just a metallic color, but because it has a tint in it, it has a, like, you know, the hue. It looks really cosmic kind of, you know, anodized color.
Yeah, it's almost like the, you know, armor plating kind of color.
Yeah, and Gerald says he likes the chrome aluminum for his candy work.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great, easy, quick backdrop to get started with your candies. So what do we have next, folks? So Createx has pearls, and typically pearls would be a top coat. You know, you would put down like a creamy white and then a pearl on top, something like that. Typically pearls aren't really also a color on their own. Eventually you can get it covered. Let's go with green. Got too much orange going on over here. But pearl on its own can be kind of hard to cover. So, but it's the same thing here. I have some pearl going. This is the pearl lime green. But I'm going to mix that 1-to-1 with the candy. So similar to the base coat, I'm using the lines on the graduated cup here. And then I will add my metallic. Now the ratios will be determined up to you. I'm going to go 1-to-1 and then a half and kind of see where that gets me. I'll need to add a little bit of 40-50 to this too. I don't know if everyone uses 40-50 when it comes to this, but I believe if you're going to have candy in there, you're going to need to add some 40-50. It needs some type of binder.
Some people still stuck to 40-30, which is the, you know, good solution too.
Mm-hmm. Now, something I don't have here I want to mention is the 4004 too, the transparent base. That's a good way to mix some colors as well and not getting it too watery or runny. You can add like pure pigments or powders or flakes to that as well, and just kind of make your own color there. This would be a really cool, quick covering pearl over, you know, some type of whole vehicle you're painting. Now I have other chroma air parts here, so I'm really itching to paint one of these spoons again with the chroma air, but I'll just paint over the gray. Green on its own is really not a good covering color, so you'll definitely have to do that in stages. Green has lots of yellow in it, I would say, and it takes some time to get where you want to get with it, but you're still just making your own new colors. I do want to mention that every piece I played with yesterday here, I did 2K clear them all, just so you can kind of see what that end result is, and it's easier to see under the light and, you know, maybe on video in here.
You probably cannot tell it through the, you know, on the computer screen or the phone screen or whatever you're watching on, but you can tell by, I guess, little pigment size, the intensity of the flakes compared to like real pearl. It's more because we added metallic to it. And I'm just curious now, I'm not sure if Dan had plans for the other spoon, but what happens if you add more chroma air aluminum to this color here? I think it would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. My plan was to paint that pearl, and like, because pearl's naturally not covering so well, and you use the metallics and to get you kind of a base coat going, what I wanted to do is, you know, get your coverage, get everything going down, and then you can go back with a last coat of pearl on top, and then that will make it just a lot stronger and actually make that pearl show a lot more. You know, it'll be way more intense and work better for you. So I'll add some to the aluminum, and then I will spray some. I'll do a 1-to-1 so it's nice and strong. Mix here. 1-to-1-to-1, 40-50. And this one's a little thick, so I'm just going to put a splash of reducer in there. I haven't been using much because for the purpose of the video and moving fast and everything, I'm not adding much reducer so we can keep moving here. So now I have some chroma air aluminum in there. I can't airbrush without a lid. I will get stuff everywhere like that green on the table. Even a small job, I'll have to put a lid on there. So let's see how well we can cover this gray this time with the 1-to-1 mix. Let's see that chroma air showing up already, making that spoon very shiny. And that's a similar mix as that one over there. You know, it's 1-to-1, so you have all that shininess of the chroma air coming through there. You can't tell by the reflectiveness of this green to that probably in the video, but you can, it's almost like you can see that ground coat underneath there, even though you didn't spray any aluminum on here first. But now I will spray it over an existing aluminum and see how that pans out. Probably try to go heavy here. See, so just by making some subtle differences, I have 3 different things going on here. Small changes can have big results, and that's why that paint scale is really helpful when it comes to this. Because yesterday, even though I did all these little tests and played around, I definitely lost track more than once.
And those are really cool when you put them next to each other. So they're not as color heavy, you know, not as intense, but because they're so shiny, they're sparkling, I think you could create like really cool design with just a bunch of different colors. So this is your real like anodized. I think this is the most anodized from everything on the table.
To me,
right?
I would say, yeah, you know, you get anodized from it, and then you just mix the candy straight and come back and take the same green or whatever and make you some flames or some stencil work, you know, with that same color. So you're like, how did you make, you know, all this different stuff with the same color? And it complements each other, but yet it stands out from each other because it's different, but yet the same. So, all right, we've done some opaques, we've done straight candy, candy with metallic in it, candy with some pearl in it, as well as the
And
chroma
metallic,
air
yeah.
aluminum. Over here, the next one in line that we have is the flares. Now these are kind of like a very heavy fine pearl in them. There's lots of different colors to choose from. This is typically a top coat as well. You know, if I was painting I always refer back to the cream white of like a Cadillac or something like that, because they're the most common for that type of color that you see running around in town all the time. And it's typically a top coat for a color. First, I'll mix me some 40-50 on par. I'll I'll go to 1 part blue. I'm using the Caribbean blue, you would say. And then I'm probably going to go 2 parts on the highlight, because I really want that pearl to shine through and be the bigger star of that mix there. And because I have so much material, I'll give it a splash reducer as well. Now there's 3 colors in front of me. The one to your right, I used the highlight green, and it made some type of, the highlight green, and I used the tealicious. And I came up with that color there.
It's a sweet color.
And it looks pretty solid until you put the light on it, and then you start seeing all those flakes. And that's what most of these colors are doing and showing. It's those, the sparkle outside is just, really looks cool on it.
Yeah, I really like this kind of effect of the secret sparkle. You look at it without special light, there's nothing going on. Like it's just, just a regular color. Just delicious.
And that's why I want everyone, even if you skipped a few minutes now and come back later, I want you to stay till the end, because as I went through and tried to make more and more intricate colors, more and more cool things started kind of happening, So now, this is exactly the same 2 colors. This is just straight when I mixed the metallic with it. And then this was blue candy over it. I didn't mix any metallics in this one. I already have a silver metallic background on here, so I'm just went straight candy and straight highlight colors in 40-50. I would say blue is similar to green. Coverage doesn't happen quickly. So nice blue to work with, and that's with a silver background. So you do have that similar candy kind of look.
No, I'm really happy everything is working
bright.
well for us so far. But guys, this is for the sake of video going fast. When you mix a special amount of color like this with a bunch of different colors and effects and the 40-50 in it, give it 10 minutes before you put it in an airbrush. So mix it, stir it, let it sit. It's gonna be working much better.
You'll notice a big difference. Water-based paints are very susceptible to the climate, so let it acclimate. And that's the reason for the 10-minute wait time. You mix those alcohols in there and reducers, thinners, sometimes it can shock the paint and you think you have trash on your paint, but it's not really that. It's you shock the paint, it's not ready, it hasn't acclimated, especially here in Florida with the humidity. Now I'm just going over a black. You probably can't see on the camera, but there's all these little dots and little raised bumps on here. This could be from sitting around, but this is most likely because of me not waiting. Going too heavy can probably do that a little bit, but it's more likely the cause of not letting it acclimate. And that's how I ended up with this color pretty much. And same kind of deal. Look how bright it is. In the cup and on that blue spoon. I keep wanting to clean my airbrush with 40-50. But once you put a light over it, it totally looks like something else. And that's where mixing custom colors comes in handy, because you want that light to play. If it's a motorcycle and you're making all these graphics and customizing, you really want the light to play with the colors you're working with. You know, you want that dance of different colors and let that magic happen. Sometimes I'm airbrushing and these little, I always refer to, you know, Bob Ross, what he used to say, the acrylic painters, is these happy accidents happen as these colors blend together and make their own kind of a thing. So flares, now we've done the highlight colors. Now we've moved on to the flares. There's 5 or 6 different colors that they have as well. These are those colors that kind of pop, sometimes turn like 2 or 3 different variants. And as you move around, the color itself actually changes. You don't have to manipulate it, or you don't have to candy over this, candy over that. The colors themselves do that for you. And that's how I ended up with these 2 colors. Now, flares are typically best over a dark color. I've tried light colors. I've even tried some grays, and they just don't really work out so good. They don't really look that good to me. So they're best over a dark color. The coverage is a lot better as well because they are fairly transparent. And just a little bit of metallic. Oh, that's not green. How did that happen? Clean this up here. Should we add some chroma air to that too? I know we just added some metallic, but no, let's not get too excited.
I feel like Dan trying to be more sloppy today, but usually just to have, you know, you guys feel better because I know accidents happen.
Yeah.
Quite a few going on today. Yeah, that's just paint. Nothing's wrong with it.
And this is similar to the highlight and the pearls. You know, these are just different effects from all of these kind of colors. Now I chose to go with a black background because this just shine the best when it comes to that. 1, 2 passes, I'm already covered, you know. You look at all that sparkle in there. I do notice when you mix candy and metallic, it drops the flare down. You're not getting that flare that you're used to if you're used to spraying Createx flares. But because of all the properties that are in it, the sparkle that's inside these really have a nice little hue to them.
I think the best result is going to be if you're going to put like 1 layer of flare on top of it, like, right?
Yeah, same with like the pearl. If it was me, I would probably go back over this green or over that purple with the flare, and that way you're not using as much of that product. You're just finishing off with that color that you want to show off with. So yeah, what you could do, just like that pearl, is mix you a little flare by itself. Not going to need much at all there. Just enough reducer to mix that a little bit. Maybe a little bit more flare there because of how thin it is. And I kind of stayed within the ballpark within most of them, but it doesn't mean that's where you have to go. And what I mean by that is, like, I use the green pearl, I use the green candy together. You know, I use the blue with a blue highlight. Over here, this is the purple and teal flare. And I also use the purple candy. And that's the difference between these two. This was pretty much the color I painted, and this is a candy over top of it. So same color, I just went darker and more hue with that candy over top. But if you think you know what color might work well on top of that, like this green comes to my mind would be something like a gold. Some type of gold pearl would probably look good over that green. And vice versa, over purple, a green pearl might look good, you know, some type of Joker looking color almost, you know. So now I'll try to dry this spoon a little bit and see if I can get that flare to show up on top a little bit more. But see, when I'm looking at the sparkle of that spoon, it's pretty substantial. I see it turning more bluer and going back not quite the original color. It is still unique and showing to be purple, but you would just be, by the time you got your flare,
I think
you would just end up with,
you just create almost like chameleon look to it, because you see like between blue and purple,
yeah,
transfers.
As you're turning it and spinning it around, I'm seeing at least one, two, I'm seeing a dark color, three, plus that purple, you know, so lots of dancing going around there, I would say. Anybody have any questions yet or anything? Is anybody? I'm sure they do, but I can't see them at the moment. Any colors anyone's thinking of? How are we on time?
We are
pretty good, huh? Halfway, maybe?
You what? Halfway?
We're good on time? Or?
Yeah, we got like 5 minutes maybe.
Oh, 5 minutes.
I mean, if you want to take longer, it can take longer, as long as
did it really?
Interesting
Is it
material.
Really almost an hour?
Yeah, we've been 53 minutes on there.
Wow. Okay. That was fast. It sure took a lot longer yesterday. Okay, now we're starting to get to some more, little bit more juicy stuff. I have to break out the 0.5 for this, and lots of Createx colors recommend the 0.5. So I've been using the Workhorse, the Eclipse, for most of this project. That's in the 3.5 range or so. But now I have the Evolution. This has the 0.45 in it, so closer to the 5 mark that they recommend for a lot of their colors. And why I'm changing to this is because I'm going to break out the Cosmic Sparkle colors. There's the Cosmic Sparkle. You can see they're pretty heavy on the flake. It's kind of like spraying a flake, in my opinion. The Hot Rod Sparkles as well, pretty heavy flake. So you want to use something a lot larger when it comes to colors like that. As far as the process goes, it's very similar. I really want to show off that flake, so I'm going to do a 2-to-1 mixture. This happens to be the Sparkle Gold. And then I have some lemon yellow here to give it a little bit of a greenish tint to it. Lemon yellow, it's a little different than the tequila yellow, I would say. Just stir that a little bit and get your 40-50 in there. I'm going to go 1 part 40-50. Now I have 2 spoons over there. I have a white and a black. I chose yellow when it came to the Cosmic Sparkle color, so you can really show off the sparkle and pearls that's in this mix. So I'll start with the white because I'll probably have to do more than 1 coat. Very dusty, very flaky. I can already taste them. You know, they're all over the booth. But not to worry, plenty of ventilation. So see, that's the first coat. This is kind of like my final coat. It took me about 3 to get there. And now I'll do the black. See all that flake? You could shine a light on there real quick for me. I only painted about half the spoon there. So and this has no metallic in it, by the way. It's just candy. It's just 40/50. Covers pretty well over black. You know, all that flake in there. Doesn't take long compared to that white one. Spread that white one some more. Go nice and heavy on there. And there's you know, any kind of color combination, the Cosmic Sparkle. Really like how this piece turned out. You could definitely make some nice, I could easily see a motorcycle tank going down the road with that. I'll do one more color that we tested, and then I'll do one last one that we haven't tested. So give me a few more minutes and we'll run through these colors, and then I'll show you our last little end result here. Okay, now, this is why I left some of the aluminum pieces too. If you come back here to my section in the back here, if you're familiar or not familiar, I'd like to introduce you to the Flare Silver Spectrum. Now this is pretty much, to me, looks like the color of the rainbow. Has pretty much every flake or pearl or pigment that's crushed pearlish stuff in it. I don't know exactly, but it has that prism rainbow kind of effect. And this is a cool color for all kind of things to do with it. And if you look at these three colors, well, here, let me show you the color itself. So that's the spectrum straight out of the bottle. This was done over a black base coat, maybe 2.5 coats. So that's the spectrum by itself. Now here without the light, you can see 3 different tones here. One I mixed with candy. This one has candy in it.
So sweet.
And not too much. And you can still see that spectrum sticking out. You see that?
Love this one.
This looks really cool, huh? This one is candy over top of it. So a little bit darker. It depends, you know, you can play with the ratio and different colors. I used, for these 3, I used the Sunset Magenta. So it's gonna go heavy pretty fast. And then the last one, you would almost think it's dark, similar to like some of those murder colors, I would say. At first glance, it looks kind of dark. Well, I took this same color here. No, I mixed the candy with the spectrum and laid down my base. Got it where I wanted it to look. And now I put black candy over. So for the majority, you think it's kind of black. It's dark almost. Yeah, there we go. But then when the light hits it, it brings it back out almost similar to this same shape here. But then now cut the light. And now it's 2 different colors again, you know? And it has that very dark look to it. I'll spray it real quick just to show you how easy the spectrum is. There's nothing really to it. It's the same mix as every other Createx. Straight out of the bottle. I'll add a tiny bit of reducer to it.
Okay, I think we're back online with audio.
Back.
Sorry, guys, not sure what happened, but I appreciate you telling us. And yeah, I lost audio 3 minutes ago. Well, sorry for anybody who just joined us.
3 minutes
We
ago?
lost audio. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to it, but we're working on a cool project here, which is experiment, and we didn't prepare this one, so Dan did not experiment with this particular one, but I appreciate us telling us. And yes, hey, model car 1589. Yeah, we're back.
Yeah, I haven't experimented with this one particularly. This is the Quicksilver Chrome that they typically use to make that kind of effect over a gloss black spoon. And I haven't really played or experimented with this, but we're gonna see where it goes. So if you didn't hear what I mentioned earlier, I mixed the red oxide candy 1-to-1 with some 40/50, and now I'm gonna add the Quicksilver. In my mind, I just can't think if I should add more or less of the Quicksilver, because I do want that gloss black to shine through, and this is already transparent. So I guess for all intensive purposes, I'll just go 1-to-1-to-1, and we'll see what happens. If I was to try it again, I would probably go 0.5%. That way, it doesn't just turn into some kind of silver color. I'm trying to go for a very transparent and see-through effect, but let's see where it goes. After this spoon, I could maybe do one other and see if I could make it show more or make it even more transparent. So over gloss black. Starting to see some hues now. So it's transparent, but I'm trying to keep it that way. I don't want to go too many coats. I'm getting quite the shine underneath there, but it just kind of turned into a pewter, I would say. So what I would do is go heavier on the actual candy itself, which shouldn't change the transparency much, but will change how strong it is. So I'm going to mix that in another cup because I want to make that a little bit stronger. So I'll go 2-to-1 this time with the candy and see if we can get a better hue on there. Something.
Yeah, seeing what's going on, I recommend even more 40/50 in it. I would go like 3-to-1 with the 40/50 because it's not going to hurt. It's going to be just, more layers to get to what you need.
Keep it transparent there. That's the main thing.
Okay, so the one thing to remember, the bigger flakes you get, so what we used here was this hot rod sparkle. It's everywhere now, so we're spraying over the table. If you look at, I don't know how much you can see without the light, but
yeah,
it's on everything. Like the whole table is now sparkly, Christmassy topic just because we sprayed. I didn't say anything before, like nothing affected it, but the whole
I
area
was
now.
watching it. Like I said, I was tasting it after a few. And this is a live video, so my wife knows where I've been. If I come home with sparkles all over me, it's no big deal. It's not the first time.
Yeah, so like Locust Farms, definitely get some Createx. It's really easy paint to work with. They have so many things to choose from. And Patriot 105, you actually have big enough nozzle to pretty much do whatever we did on this whole table here, including the larger, the hot rod sparkles if you need those. Yeah, see, now we have more of the black we can see through.
Yeah. Now this probably take a couple coats too, I would say.
No, leave it there for now. You see how you can see more black through? So it is definitely much different effect.
You can't get that mirror and shine out of just a regular base color, like it's not gonna happen on that. You see the light, it's maybe if you see on camera how clear that little white dot is on that light compared to that, and it's all hazy and a little foggy.
Yeah.
That's because they're underneath there.
No, this looks more pristine color for sure.
Yeah.
And again, I would not put even.
Champagne.
We're gonna put another color, just I mean a laser light, just to see difference. But even like this, it looks pretty cool. I think we got
Yeah.
some good color there.
So I'll just put another, get it a little bit more brown. Should still be pretty transparent, even though I probably have 4 coats on there now, almost, at least 2. And still, I can still see that little light dot on there from the flashlight, very clear, as opposed to the haziness of that.
Yeah, that's
there,
the biggest
you know?
difference you're gonna see. You know, if you're gonna take it to the scale of like a motorcycle or something, this will be like more of
You
expensive
want
looking
that
his
depth,
color.
you know? Yeah, it gives that depth, you know, that champagne. All right, just something for you to experiment that I haven't got a chance to play with that's still within the line. What about maybe Createx glow-in-the-dark colors or the UV colors? So that's why I have 2 more honorable mentions. The Chroma Air, the Icy Glow, as well as the Chernobyl Glow. These are UV colors, they're effect colors, but they're not exactly like a fluorescent. They're a color on their own. This is about two coats of each color. So it is a color on its own, I mean, but they're UV reactive. Especially that you know, green. So you paint a snowman or Slimer or something like that, but you don't want that effect to be noticeable right away until it's dark or you put that light on it. You know, these are some cool colors to work with. So what if you put a pearl on top of this, or a flare color or something like that? Kind of, I don't know, see what happens there, you know? Possibilities are endless. There's all kind of stuff to choose from and play with. Be on the lookout in our discount section. I'll have at least 3 sets here that will be listed as overspray sets, discount sets, okay?
Yeah.
So look for those in
Especially
our
for
discount section.
For the hot rock section.
The last thing I'd like to show you is to my right over here. And these are all our new speed shapes that we have for everyone to play with. All kind of different mini hoods. Those are metal. And then everything else is plastic. So there's different size and shapes. And so, you know, once you get a nice color, you perfect it and you want to show it off or sell it when you're painting a bike or a golf cart or anything like that and you want to show it off, this would be great options for that. And we also have 2 different stands as well. So for like the mini hoods or something like that, they have magnets on here, and then we have the magnets to go with them. And then you could just, you know, clip on the speed shape or something like
plastic.
that, right?
Well, no, this is for a hood because hoods are actually metal.
Yeah.
So the hoods are they made of the metal, yeah, you see, so you can.
So that'll go on directly on its own.
Yep.
If you glued a magnet to one of these plastic ones, you know, you could use that as well.
We're actually selling this for the hoods.
So a good way to display these little mini hoods.
It goes upside down, right? Like this. Yep. Now you got it.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
there
it's meant
are.
to be.
Oh, I thought there were holes in there. Yeah, this one has holes, so you actually could mount it somewhere, you know, on your wall, something like that. Shameless plug. So, anyway, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, all the hoods are metal, so it can work with magnets. And this, you know, the larger one, it's quite a mini hood. It's almost like from Smart or something. Mini Cooper. Discount section here. Okay, right then. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks
Appreciate
everybody
it, guys.
who
Have a good day.
yeah. Thanks to everybody who stayed with us for this quite a long video. But again, guys, the main idea of the whole thing here we did for the hour and whatever 20 minutes is that open your creativity, right? You have Createx paints. They all the Createx products, including some other water-based paints we had here, like Chroma Air. You can add no name. You can mix and match still, like everything. They interchange, you know, intermixable, and basically taking one color like this cool spectrum, adding candies, mixing candies. You can create like, you know, 50 other cool colors just from this experiment kind of a mixture. Make your own things. So yeah, just go for it. And again, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for shopping Spray Gunner, and I'll see you in the next one.